Hi guys, Giant T here, bringing you a 9th Phage Battle Report. It's my Dwarven holds versus the Vermin Swarm. Now, my opponent and I have been trying to get together for this game for a while now. Even though very short games, we ran out of time in the club, very enjoyable nonetheless. So, going to my spells, I've got a Runic Smith and a Runic Master. So the 4 spells you can see in front of you, plus another Gleaming and a Rune of Metal. My opponent's got the Path of Shadow, and he rolled Shadow Miasma. So just starting on my left flank here, I've got 2 attack copters. Behind the hill, I've got 40 warriors with great weapons, throwing weapons and full command. I'll put my Runic Smith in there as well, just to give him that MR1 and the Armor Piercing 1 ability. On the hill there, I've got a rune-crafted organ gun, so he's +1 to wound. 25 Deep Watch in the middle of the table with my Runic Master with the MR2 and the Armor Piercing 1. I've got BSB in there as well. Next to them, 40 warriors with, again, full command, throwing weapons and great weapons. In between them, on my Grudge Buster, I've got a rune-crafted bolt thrower. And in the far corner, at the back there, I've got a rune-crafted catapult. I've deployed in almost like a horseshoe shape, because I want my flyers to try and come around the back and herd him into the middle of the table, where I can almost try and pick and choose my fights. If it works like that, we'll have to wait and see. So starting on the left flank, my opponent's brought 10 giant rats with a dread mill. They're facing down my copters. He's got another 10 giant rats. Behind them he's got 38 rats at arms. He's got 12 vermin hulks there with a champion. He's got Thunderous Charge and Stomp 2 in that unit as well. So next to that, he's got his Magister level 4 General and his BSB Chieftain in a unit of 40 rats at arms with the Doom Bell. Next to them, 3 weapons teams, going on to 5 Thunder Hulks, then a unit of Rat Swarms, then a Dreadmill, another unit of Rat Swarms, and behind all that he's got 40... Just a really quick look at how the battlefield looks before we start. As I put all my units down together, I'll get the first turn. So not a great deal of movement for the Dwarfs, as you expect. I brought my Grudge Buster up just before the brow of the hill to try and keep out of 18 inches of his Dreadmill. My Deep Watch hang slightly back of the organ gun for defense purposes, and I bring my 2 attack copters at maximum charge range for his units. Now, my opponent's gone for quite a quick Skaven army. He's got a lot of movement 7 units and a lot of swift stride units, so trying to keep at maximum range and for my first turn to try and slow his chart again, getting him into combat down, for me feels like a right play at this time. Magic sees me roll 7 for the Winds of Magic. Now, I didn't do any spells in this turn because I didn't feel it was necessary to. Shooting, my organ gun shoots at his Doom Bell and causes 1 wound. The catapult and the bolt thrower both shoot at the same unit. The bolt thrower misses absolutely wildly, as per usual for me. Excuse me. And the catapult causes, I think it's 4 or 5 casualties off the back of the unit there. So not fantastic from my war machines. The 2 attack copters there shoot at the giant rats in front of them for a massive 1 wound. Good old chaps, well done. So in Vermin Swarm turn 1, he brings his giant rats to come up round the flank, pushes his Dread Mill, his rats at arms and his other giant rats forward along with his vermin hulks. Going on to his Magister's unit, the Doom Bell and the other rats at arms, he brings them forward as far as he can, and he brings his weapons teams down with him. And at the back there you can see he's brought his slaves into play and he's just turned around to push them forward. His Thunder Hulks there come down pretty quick. His Dreadmill goes to the top of the hill. One of his Rat Swarms comes round the far flank to play in my war machines, and the other one pushes forward. So, going into his magic phase, he rolls 8 for his magic flux. I dispel most things, but he gets off -1 toughness on my organ gun and puts his attributes onto one of his weapons teams. Yeah, very good choice. For shooting, he goes to shoot his Dreadmill and luckily for me blows him up. Now, these Gatling gun things, they are like mini organ guns. They are horrifically scary. So the dice there are representing the amount of shots they're getting. So he shoots on my war machine and kills 2 of the crew instantaneously. His second one, again, shoots at my organ gun. Excuse me. And kills it outright this time. The third one then shoots at my attack copter and doesn't do any wounds. And now he goes to his Vermin Hulks. Now, if I remember correctly, the Vermin Hulks can have an ability where they can either shoot themselves from the unit or give the shooting ability to a nearby weapons team. Now, if I'm wrong in saying that, I actually invite my opponent as well to come and correct me if I'm wrong in saying that, or just join in discussion about it. Just set me on the straight and narrow with it. Now, it gives the ability to the weapons team, which then shoots at my Deep Watch and kills, I think it's 4 or 5 of those guys as well. So very good turn for shooting for the Vermin Swarm, apart from his Dreadmill blowing up, and a picture of the table as it stands after turn 1. Dwarfen holds turn 2. The Grudgebuster tries to attempt to charge into the flank of the Thunderhawks. Both the attack copters charge the 2 closest weapons teams, who both flee and run for the units. Now, we pass the test to redirect, so the one closest to us redirects into the giant rats, and the one on the far side redirects into the Vermin Hulks. Now, the reason for doing that is I wanted to see if I can hold them up for at least 1 or 2 turns, just so I can get myself into a decent position. The Grudgebuster makes it in, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. The 2 attack copters make it in. Again, I think I should win the one against the giant rats. Not comfortably, but I reckon I should do enough there just to beat them and make them break. And I'm expecting to lose the other attack copter now, because on his turn I forgot he rolled his Doom Bell and gave him Frenzy. So yeah, not a wise choice. The warriors just reform for magic purposes, try and get some spells off, and the Deep Watch then come into a position to try and help out for a counter charge on the flank. Magic doesn't see great rolls of the flux dice, but I do manage to get stubborn off on my attack copter, so he should be sticking around unless he's wiped out. The bolt thrower then goes for the Doom Bell, and again misses wildly. I don't even know why I bring this thing anymore. The catapult then goes for the Doom Bell as well, and gets a direct hit on him. Now, I've got him runecrafted, so he's +1 strength, so he's strength 10 under the hull with wound ordnance, and I roll a 1 to wound. My artillery's just letting me down now. So we go into combat where the Grudgebuster opens up a can of whoop-ass on this unit. It kills 2 of them outright, and I think he leaves a wound on another one, and he only takes a wound back. That thing is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. So they are. I think he passes his leadership test and he stays. Now here, the one I thought I was going to walk through as the giant rats is I only did 1 wound to them, and he did a wound back to me. So he won. It was a drawn combat there, and the one with the other attack copter and the Vermin Hulks, they did 2 wounds to me. I didn't do anything to them, but I was stubborn. So not a fantastic turn of combat there, apart from the Grudgebuster, but I'm happy with how things stayed. Kicking off Vermin Swarm turn 2, he brings his giant rats a bit further around the flank. His dreadmill goes into the flank of my attack copter there, so that thing's pretty much dead. I think he rolls hard target and distracting from his doom bell and pushes both that unit and the slave units forward. Along with his weapons teams, he's managed to rally them and bring them forward as well. Which is quite a good thing for him, unfortunate for me. His rat swarms both come round to the right flank. I think he's going to tie up the catapult and the bolt thrower at some point during the game with them. So he gets a nice magic flux going off. I use my scroll on one, manage to dispel another, but he gets through Devouring Darkness, which is initiative test or die for me. Luckily for me, I've got my Runesmith in that unit, so I didn't lose half of what I expected to. Shooting, he kills the attack copter outright from his shooting attacks, and both of the weapons teams there shoot at my warrior unit and devour that unit even more. I'm glad I put 40 in it now. So then we go on to combat, where the Grudge Buster, he only does a couple of wounds to the unit. His time kills off one and takes 2 wounds himself, but still wins combat. Sorry, that was a drawn combat even, I should say. And here the Thunder Hulks devour the attack copter, and they just turn to face the warriors. So just a really quick view of what top of turn 3 looks like. Going on to charges, the warrior unit charges the flank of the Vermin Hulks, because I don't want the Grudge Buster dying now. Then I charge one of his weapons teams with this unit, which flees. I then redirect into the other unit for some stupid reason, I'm not sure why. This unit makes his charge, flies across the table to 12 inches. And again here, like I said, it fails, but the Deep Watch come as far around as they can to try and make a counter charge in case the Vermin Hulks come in. So stonking magic phase for me, I'll get 11 power dice plus a channel. I managed to get these 2 spells off with my magic phase. Everything else he's dispelled, so this should help me in combat if they do get there without those Gatling guns shooting at me. The broken bolt thrower again misses. I'm not bringing that thing anymore. See, he shoots against the doom bell. The catapult shoots against the same target and subsequently misfires, and he can't shoot this turn or next. So then going into combat, the Vermin Hulks don't do anything but get absolutely mangled by the warriors and the Grudge Buster. The Grudge Buster reforms out the way so the warriors can overrun into the side of the slaves. I'm pretty happy with that, and the way combat's gone. So top of Vermin Swarm turn 3 sees his rat swarms charging the bolt thrower, which he can have. The Vermin Hulks here, they charge the warrior unit, which both units make it very, very comfortably into targets. Now, with this one here, I'm going to take a hell of a lot of damage to that unit, but I think with those buffs I should be able to stay for this round for my Deep Watch to come into his flank on my next turn. For his next movement, he brings his rat swarms over closer to my war machines. I can't remember why he rolls for his doom bell, but he pushes that and the other unit of rats at arms forward. Brings his dreadmill into the centre for on his compulsories, and his giant rats come down further as well. So that's just what it looks like for his movement there. For his magic, he's playing Keep Up with the Joneses and rolls 11 power dice. I don't even think he got a channel on this one. I can't really remember a great deal of magic going off in this turn, so I don't think he did a fantastic amount, to be honest. I think he got like -1 strength from my warrior unit, and that's about it. So shooting, his Gatling gun goes into my Deep Watch and kills only 2 of them this turn, and he manages to restrain his dreadmill. So going on to combat here, yeah, they absolutely mangle my warrior unit. I don't do many wounds back, but with those buffs I do stick around. And on the other flank with the warrior unit and the slaves, I absolutely annihilate that unit. But it does stay. Now, further after this game, we discovered that I don't think the slaves are steadfast in the flank. Again, I'll invite my opponent just to pull me up on this if I'm wrong. So that unit would have been wiped out, and I could have chose either to reform or overrun there due to the charge rules for that flank. So this is how the game ends. Both myself and my opponent are very, very similar at play level. These lists are actually for a tournament I'm running in June, so we've started to have a bit of practice at, our first attempts at that list. And my first go against the Vermin Swarm, not as overpowered as the old Skaven were in Warhammer, but a very, very balanced army. The Gatling guns are quite scary, to be honest, but everything else seems to be, well, including the Gatling guns, very, very balanced army from what we played here. Now, like I said, we ran out of time here. Believe it or not, we did start about 7 o'clock, but we was talking about things through the 9th age about it. So, I enjoyed the game. My opponent enjoyed the game immensely. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I've been Giant T. Thanks for watching.